use. So now be doing this. Marketing, do this. Now at this stage, marketing should change. Do this. Yes. That's how we can partner. Yeah.
Without further ado, I will invite Dr. Agnes Andoro from the University of Nairobi to take us through the Erasmus projects and scholarships. In case you feel your eyes are closing, please stand up and move around. Yeah, feel free. I know it's a tough afternoon.
But still coming. Hello. Okay. I don't know whether to stand up. You prefer me to be here, but I don't want to. I didn't want to stand. Oh. But just put the chair. Just put the chair so that in case I can fall on the chair. Hello, can we take off, Dr. Rose? Are you done? Are you in exchange program? You're in exchange program. Okay. I'll just start on. My presentation is very fast. I'll be talking about Erasmus Plus, and mainly I'll be looking at Erasmus Mundus. Hello. Hi. My eye is in the table. Hi. Can we be together? Okay. Erasmus Plus. That is enriching lives and opening minds. I'm called Dr. Agnes Andolo, University of Nairobi. Okay. So, we are here because of the European Union funded programs, and I'm mainly looking at the Erasmus Plus. What is Erasmus Plus? Erasmus Plus is the EU program to support education, training, youth, and support. It also funds programs, projects, and scholarships, and fosters the EU, AU, international cooperations. This has been for 30 years of achievements. There have been 30 years of achievements of Erasmus. And as you can see, there is Erasmus program, Erasmus Plus programs. Then there is the new program that is 2021 to 2027. Under the Erasmus program, there were more than 4 million European students. Then in Erasmus Plus program in 2014 to 2022, it was open to international dimension through academic exchange worldwide with more funding. Now, when we move to the next program, as you can see, it has increased the international dimension to higher education, to vets. In Kenya, we call them TVET. I don't know how you call them in Uganda. Then youth and sport. I will not go through the short ones, but the Erasmus Plus 2021-2027 covers the inclusion and diversity, digital Erasmus Plus and green Erasmus Plus. Erasmus Plus inclusion and diversity, for example, under Asaf, being led by Madame Juliet, who is the Vice President of Asaf. She is the chairperson of mobility, inclusion, and diversity, where I'm also a member. When we look at the international cooperation, the international cooperation is under the program countries. We look at the EU member states. When we talk about the EU member states, that is the 26 countries under the European Union. Then we look at the partner countries. Now, under the partner countries, there is where Uganda falls. Can I sit? Yeah. Okay. Good. Too good for me. Okay. You are okay now? Okay. Under the partners, partner countries, that is where Uganda, Kenya, and any other country fall under. Now, I was looking at the opportunities for the Kenyan students. These opportunities are also the same with the Uganda students. So when you see Kenya, you know, the Uganda is also together. All the opportunities that Kenya has, the Uganda Uganda students have. Like, for example, we have credit mobility plus scholarships. These are short-term studies in Europe that will count to your degree back at home. Credit mobilities, they are the mobilities that are earned in Europe and recognized by the institutions back at home. Then we also have joint degrees, joint master's degrees. These are the master's degrees. They are full degree programs at master's level with study at 2 or more universities. Then what are the benefits? They have a unique learning experience in Europe. Then the students also receive double, multiple joint degrees or recognitions of their studies abroad. Then they also acquire in-depth knowledge of Europe and European higher education. This improves their linguistic skills and intercultural experiences, and improves employability through recognition of qualifications and study periods abroad. Academic exchange of knowledge, ideas, and contacts. Now, when we look at the benefits, apart from the unique learning experience, I think my fellow Asaf members who went for further, for their mobility trainings or their degree in other countries in Europe would agree with me that they have unique learning experience. If institutions are accept and sign the MOUs to recognize these degrees or that they have in joints with the European institutions, then the student benefits the double. For example, I would take an example of Edwin. I don't know whether he's in the room. Yes, Edwin will tell you that he will tell you how many PhDs he has, and he has more than one. He has 3 PhDs and from different institutions. And I think I'm also similar to Edwin. I'm heading for my 3rd PhD. So it sounds very strange, but I think when Edwin will talk to you and tell you his experience, you will get it, how it goes. This improves employability, as we have said. And now, the international credit mobility. This international credit mobility is recognized everywhere, both in Europe and in part of Africa, African institutions of higher learning. These are short-term studies abroad that count to a degree back home. There is also something in the European Union called traineeship. These traineeships are, how would I say them? They are not like a green card of United States. They give you opportunities to go and work in any area, in any line of career, in any institution that you would be posted for 6 or more months, and you are paid allowance while you will be there. And it also improves on your employability, because you'd be going, if, for example, if you are an engineer, you are posted in an engineering firm in Europe, and then when you come back, at least it can be counted as a degree, or it depends on the agreement. Then there is mobility for bachelor's, master's, and doctoral students, and also for staff. The mobility itself means moving from one place to another. Like, for example, in Europe, the mobilities are that you would, if you go for masters in a university, for example, University of Makerere, then University of Makerere, in partnership with University of Nairobi and maybe another university within Europe, yeah, you get your units or ECTs or credits from each and every university, and you end up coming back to University of Makerere to graduate from your university. So you are mobile. The first semester or maybe the first year you are in this university, the second university you are in the other one, the next semester you are in the other one. So you go around in different countries within Europe, and at the end you finalize and get your degree from your main university. That is the mobility. Then university outside Europe can have mobility agreements. What are these mobility agreements? For example, if Makerere students would want to go to University of Barcelona, the two institutions must sign an MOU that agrees with the units that the students will have to go for. And they will also sign the MOU to allow the staff to also move from one university to another. So this option is both for the staff and the students. Then the agreement defines the number of students and staff to be sent, and then academic disciplines on offer, then recognition of credit must be acquired. The MOU cannot go through if a university does not recognize the agreed MOU. For example, if the students move from one university to the other, and then Makerere refuses to accept the units that were done in another university, then Makerere shall have will be listed as not respecting the agreement. Therefore, the contract can be seized. I don't think we would like to go that way. So the study periods that involves the staff and students would be between 3 to 12 months, but with scholarships. These scholarships include travel, subsistence costs, and for staff, it is between 5 to 60 days. Both the flight tickets, insurance are all covered under the scholarship. Now, looking at the financial support, this financial support, it is only for this is for the Erasmus Plus. The Erasmus Plus has its own setup of living costs and travel costs. For example, if a student leaves Uganda for Barcelona or for any country in Europe under Erasmus Plus scholarship, he or she should expect around 850 euros. And then the travel costs from Africa would be 820. You can calculate it in the millions of Uganda shillings on that. Then how to apply? You need to apply through the international or Erasmus Plus office of your higher education institution. Agreements in place, study programs are open, mobility, application periods. For example, now there is an open link for Erasmus modules only for masters, but I think we'll come to that. Then you should be selected by your sending higher education or institution in a fair and transparent way. Why is this like this? It means that your institution, for you to enjoy this, your institution must be in collaboration or partnership with a European institution. So when you leave Makerere, then you move to Barcelona, everything is already in place for you. And what I can stress here is that in the scholarships, in the European Union scholarships, there is no my brother, there is no my sister or my relative. All you have to do is you and yourself and your computer and your documents and apply. There is no any money that is involved. It is very transparent. It's very transparent, and your application will depend on the scores that you will achieve. So from the scores, that is where we will get the best students from that. So you don't need a relative. The only thing that a relative can tell you or can give you is to give you the link. The rest depends on you. No backdoor. Now, on Erasmus Plus, there exists an Erasmus Mundus joint master's program. So this master's program, just in brief, it is a high-level integrated and transnational study program at master's level. Then it's a master's program of excellence open to all disciplines. So there is nothing like I'm doing arts, I'm in hospitality, I'm doing what? No. It is open to everybody and in all disciplines. It is delivered by an international consortium. So, international consortium of higher educational institutions from different countries worldwide, and other educational and or non-educational partners. It offers high-level scholarship to excellent students worldwide. As I sit here, I am one of the beneficiaries of Erasmus Mundus, not joint masters. Before 2020, Erasmus Mundus was giving scholarships even to the PhD fellows. But since the last review, Erasmus Mundus is only left for masters. PhD is left for Marie Curie. PhD and postdoc is left for Marie Curie. And Horizon and Euraccess Africa is left for all except masters. I hope I'm clear there. So let me finish and then you'll give me questions. Hello, let me finish the presentation and then we'll have a question and answer session. Yeah. Sorry? Okay. On what? Horizon. There is Horizon Africa. There is Horizon Europe. There is Euraccess. Euraccess is worldwide. These two have many, many things besides the scholarships and the academic scholarships. And Marie Curie is now left for postdoc and PhD. Erasmus Mundus joint masters is now meant for masters. So taking part as an individual, it's open. It is open to students worldwide. That is Erasmus Mundus. And applicants must hold a first higher education degree or equivalent. Then they must also have they must have benefited previously from an Erasmus Mundus joint scholarship. There is an exclamation. That means it is not a must, but the first one is a must. You must hold a first higher education degree. Then the best ones can benefit from a scholarship, depending on the number of scholarships which will be available. And as I can refer to our ambassador in Kenya, EU ambassador in Kenya, who told us that the scholarships are 150,000 meant for Africa. So I don't know how many Uganda would grab, because as in Kenya, I think maybe the Kenyans here will tell us how many they are going to leave for Uganda. But I think it is a competition. I would go for them all. Then students need to apply directly to Erasmus Mundus Joint Consortium, where there is a catalog. This catalog is found under this, whatever, the link. You don't have to copy because we will give you the link and then we will also try and see if it works. Then benefits for Uganda students, not Kenya, Uganda. Then this means I'm just being transparent. What I gave Kenya is what I'm giving Uganda. So, yeah. So, high degree of expertise with a specialization component Then a unique mobility experience recognized by joint multiple degree. Then attractive EU scholarship for the best selected students. Then high employability through key competencies and soft skills. Now, I come where there is money. The Erasmus Mundus joint masters is a full scholarship. The school scholarship, it covers the subsistence, installation, and travel plus fee waiver. The fee is already paid to that institution that you will go to. Installation, that is orientation, is also covered. The subsistence cover is also given to the student. The installation fee includes the visa. For example, in Kenya, the ambassador has waived the visa fee for all Erasmus students. So if you happen to be to get the scholarship, then you will not pay visa. All you will need to do is to present your documents, which already will be there at the visa place, and your ticket will also be there, to and fro, ready. And besides that, there will be an insurance cover to cover you for the rest, the period that you will be there, with a subsistence allowance of 1,400 euros per month. It is untaxed, as you can see. It will be given for 24 months. Each month is 1,400 euros. You can calculate it in Uganda money. I don't know. Then contribution is based on individual. Then there is also the special needs of students. There are 10 different unit costs varying between 3,000 and 60,000. That means this brings us back to the inclusion. The people with special needs are given an extra cost. So depending on the country that you will be going, there will be an extra cost on the 1,400. So everything is calculated there, just like I have stated. For Uganda, it is the first box that you need, and then the last box is for special need. And if it is an institutional agreement, then that institution will be given 750 per month per student. So for example, if Makerere sends Erasmus Mundus, then Makerere will be getting 750 per student that will have gone. So the Makerere will benefit in a way, but will not interfere with the student allowance. How to apply? Check the master's courses on the offer on Erasmus Mundus catalog. Yeah. Choose a suitable program, forward any questions to the course, then plan your application process. Application window opens in September, as early as September, but for this it has already opened. It opened on last month on 23rd and will end on 15th of January. Then you check the application requirements. Then you look at the deadlines, which is that. All you need, apply directly to the course, not individual university. If you are successful, prepare your visa requests, other administrative procedures, ensure you have all necessary documents, which you will also get there. You should be ready well in advance. ensure that you are properly informed about your rights and obligations laid down in the student agreement, then ask advice and support from fellow students who have already benefited from that. And I think there are several. They are all Asaf members. See alumni networks, Asaf, that's it. Other opportunities for Uganda students. There is Mwalimu Nyerere. There is Pan-African University. There is Marie Curie Actions. This one will mainly go for the people who are looking for PhD. And there is Urases Research. I'm only having 5 minutes. Let me finish. You are finishing my 5 minutes. Then, more information. There is Erasmus Plus program. There is a guide that would give you guide. For Erasmus Plus 20 that, there will be a fact sheet. Then Erasmus Plus, that will be the link. Then short mobility abroad, that one is also the link for the people like the teacher here. Then Erasmus Mundus students, alumni also have a lot of information. Then there will be tricks and trips successful. There is that link. Then finally, there is Asaf, which is us. We have a link and that is us. And I say thank you very much for listening. And I invite any question. I hope I have finished less than 5 minutes you gave me.
Thank you very much. So we'll take the Q&A. I just want to ask the alumni to put up their hands. Yeah, so the people who want to apply, you see the people to go to help you. I think I'm doing my job very well. Yeah, so you guys have to pay me. So let's go do a Q&A and we move forward. Any questions? Any additions?
Okay, good afternoon. So mine is an inquiry. I had like, this time it's open for MUBU students only or all universities. I would like to get some clarification about that.
Sorry. MUBUs, you remember, I come from the Jirani, Kenya. So MUBs I didn't understand what MUBs means. Huh? Okay. Just put it in full so that everybody, including my colleagues, can.
The Makerere.
So come again. Just ask your question again.
She's asking, is this program only meant for the Makerere University Business School, or it's for all the students or all the?
Okay, thank you. I was only using Makerere as an example. The scholarships are meant for everyone in all areas, discipline. Yeah? I was just using Makerere as an example.
Thank you so much. Dr. Agnes, please kindly clarify on when you meant higher qualifications, first high education degree. Is it a first class higher degree or you meant like first high?
Okay. Well, in back at home, I think we are talking about the first degree. That is undergraduate, the first degree. Yeah. The first degree students who would want to do their masters. I don't know, system is the same as ours. Yeah. So the Erasmus joint master's program, you must have your documents for the first degree. So it doesn't matter whether you have done a master's, but you cannot even decide and say that, okay, I want to do a second master's. I want to do a third master's. But all the documents that will be required for Erasmus Masters will be the first degree documents.
Yeah, I want to add something to what Dr. Agnes has said. You remember she said there are two modes that you can go there on transfer of credits. So that you're already a student in a university and you want to go and do a few credits in another university using the same module. So that you can go out there and still come back and graduate in your university. But you can also go and get another degree from the university where you go to. So that means you'll get the second, you can get 2 consecutive degrees from that. So that you are able to get 2 degrees. One from the university you went to, you'll satisfy the examination on the other side, but at the same time, you'll use the same to do it in your parent university. Then we are saying Makerere University it was an example, but we are urging from wherever, which institution you belong to, there are certain benefits that come to that particular institution. And she talked about 750 euros per student that will come to the university so long as they get the scholarship and they are already students, say, of Makerere and which other university? Yes, Uganda International or Kampala International, that's one I know. Kampala International University. So they will also benefit as an institution from the same scholarship that you get as an institution. So they will be given a certain amount, which is 750 euros. And because of the agreement that they have already entered with the European Union. Are we clear? So that they can be able to benefit. So the message here is that if your university is not yet a member, then you urge them to fulfill what is required and sign an MOU so that they become members and beneficiaries of this scholarship once the students get through to either do a joint master's or their own staff members will be given an opportunity to also go out there on an exchange program. It runs from seven days up to 2 months. So that is another opportunity that is provided for once you are in that MOU with the European Union. And then you can also apply as an individual. You are not assigned to any institution. So you come in on your own. Maybe your university does not have an MOU. So you come in as an individual. And when you come in as an individual, you'll still get the benefits that Agnes talked about. You'll get the stipend, there will be a cover for travel and subsistence and many other. You'll have an opportunity to travel to 2 or more universities as you go about your studies. I hope that is a bit clearer so that we can be able to move. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monari. What I would like you to separate, you, not her, she knows. Erasmus Plus, in most cases, Erasmus Plus is a joint institutional, it's normally joint. It has, when an institution has a partnership on the other side. So when Makerere, I'll still use Makerere. When Makerere is in partnership with Barcelona, then Makerere will send students who are on course in Makerere, and they will go to Barcelona for a few semesters, then come back to Makerere to graduate. On condition that Makerere will recognize the agreement between them and Barcelona. In this case, Makerere, on each and every student Makerere will send to Barcelona, the European Union will pay 750 per student sent to Barcelona from Makerere. So if Makerere sends 1,000 students, then you multiply by that. It doesn't interfere with the student. The student has his or her part, and the institution's part is 750.
Thank you, Doctor.
maybe to make it clearer, myself and my two other colleagues and one who was here in the morning have benefited from Erasmus Plus, a framework mobility program. We went to Germany for, I think, a year and some months, but we did not stop studying our degree at Makerere. We went to Germany and picked courses or modules. We are normally advised to pick modules that we didn't do at school, like electives. We picked modules that match our career, like that are in line with our career. We studied them for 2 semesters and came back, but we got recognition for those modules. We have a partial transcript. And now we are back at MOOC and we are finalizing with our masters. Yeah, so, and we got, I think monthly we used to get 850 euros and we got 1,500 euros for travel expenses. So everything you presented, we have witnessed it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I think that is a living testimony.
I think just to add on something small, I don't know, from your presentation, is it that the student, for the sake of anyone who may want to be involved and a potential beneficiary, yeah, if it's not that if your university is not in partnership with any European university, that you can't apply for the scholarship. You can't. You're saying that you can't. So is it up to you to initiate that MOU, I don't know, things?
Okay, let me just clarify you. For Erasmus Mundus, for Erasmus Mundus, it is individual. It is individual. I can also just decide and go for another master's and fill in the catalog, look for what I want, then apply. If I'm taken, I go. It doesn't involve any institution. But for Erasmus Plus, most of the programs are just like what she said. So that is the difference.
Yes, thank you so much for that great presentation. Mine is just a bit of information which I would want to give to prospective applicants. My name is Edwin Kamala. I work with Busitema University. As she already mentioned, I'm also a beneficiary, but I'm also one of the leaders in Asaf and another organization which we call the Erasmus Mundus Alumni and Students Association. For about 6 years, I have been the country representative, meaning I represent the alumni and current students within that global association. So we've been also working with the European Union delegation. We've held a number of webinars, and such kind of activities actually help us to reach more of you. I wanted to give information that we have a WhatsApp group because I think in September we held a webinar which was well attended. I think over 150 people attended. And because of so much request for information, we formed a WhatsApp group which we keep using to mentor and advise applicants freely. We have a team of students, current students who made it. I can give you a few numbers. In 2021, we managed to have 12 successful applicants who went to different countries and they are doing their mobilities. 2022, we had 16. And this year, we had 20 successful applicants who were flagged off, I think, at the end of September or end of August by the European Union delegation. We were there actually with Juliet, we were there with Jackie, and a few other colleagues. So this is real, and I want to encourage us all to really apply. Now, my experience was mainly from the doctoral framework, not the master's. But the framework is still the same, except that maybe the PhDs are more competitive, but they have also been changed. They are no longer the joint PhDs that we used to have. She mentioned Marie Curie. That's where they have been transferred. But we used to also have the joint PhD programs. So we'll provide the link to you so that you can join this WhatsApp group and benefit from the team of dedicated colleagues who are abroad, some of them around, who can help you to better your application. And maybe about tomorrow again, we still have another rich event tomorrow at Makerere University Business School. You are all welcome because we are going to practically go through the application process. We open the links, we show you how to start and where to end. And also the EU delegation has already shared with us their PowerPoint. I have seen a few you who have been asking about the Erasmus Plus. For instance, my university has agreements with about 8 European universities. So which means we can only apply for Erasmus Plus, these short mobilities for staff and students. We can only apply to universities where with which we have these MOUs. But for the masters, you don't need any support of the university except documentation like recommendations, maybe helping you with letters of English proficiency and so on. But for the other mobilities, you need to be nominated by your university. Even if you are a staff member, you cannot just go to any university. So tomorrow, the EU team is going to show you a list. For instance, if you are from KIU, they already have a list of universities which are collaborating with KIU. If you are from MUBS, I've seen a list. If you are from Makerere, they are there. And of course, we advise staff to keep initiating these agreements because it is the EU people who usually write to us. Universities write to us, we respond, we give them information they want, and then they include us within their consortium. One university can actually collaborate with over 200 or 300, and they give so many slots to African applicants or African universities. The last time we were in Greece, I saw really the numbers. They were very, very high, but we couldn't even take up 40%. So the money is returned back to their treasury. I want to stop here.
Thank you very much, Edwin. Edwin is my colleague in several forums. Yeah, we are all alumni of Erasmus Mundus, Asaf. We are co-ambassadors. So there are several things that we share together, and we even share everything, including this. He'll share with me the one for Uganda, and I also share with him the ones for Kenya, and we work together. So maybe just a very short.
Just one last question.
Yes, all right. I would like to inquire, do they need a certain performance to apply it, or like how we have first class, second class, then pass degree, or any degree you have, so long as you achieve the bachelor's degree, whichever class, like can you apply, or you need to have a certain class?
Thank you very much. I like that question. These classes are only in our countries, because they have not specified they want a first class or they want a pass or a whatever. All they need is a certificate of bachelor's. You need to prepare your certificates, and there are also other certificates that you should not really overlook. For example, the certificate that you will get today, you might look at it as a very something that is not really important. But to the EU, every certificate is a score. So anything that you did that can help them see, because you know they don't know you. So it is it's the way you are going to present yourself that is going to show them that this would be the best person that can do this particular thing. I think maybe tomorrow you might hear, you'll be taken through by Dr. Rose on what is expected, the kind of documents that are required, and you really need to polish them and get the best, be the best. Yeah? Okay, yes. So I'm just coming ahead of her, but she will take you through on the best motivation, how to do the best motivation that can lead you to whatever. The documents, including the CV, that, whatever. So what I would urge is that today, when you get back, put all your house in order, put all your documents together, and get into the catalog and start doing the applications. What I discourage is, don't look at the deadline. Set yourself a deadline. For example, say that I am not going for Christmas on 25th before I submit my application. These applications are very rigorous. They are long, and most of us that are aware of these programs or these certificates or these scholarships, they start it like you'd start it today. After that, when you reach a certain point, you start looking at the deadline. Then you say, okay, the deadline is still far. Next year, January. No, I'll wait. Maybe I'll go for my certifications later. Go for your certifications of your documents. Put all your certificates under one file. Put all your transcripts under one file. Put your other certificates under one file. Then put your motivation letter ready for anything. Put it general but very neat and nice. Yeah. Then do your CV like you will be encouraged. Put everything under one folder in your desktop, so that when you come to where we are now heading, when you sit to start application, you are able to apply for particular course in several institutions. The work will be very easy. You just go through, you get into one university, you go through. When they want the certificates, you go and get them from your cupboard and give them, just like that, and give, and then, and give. And within no time, you will reach the submission part. When you reach the submission part, click it.
Thank you, Dr. Agnes. I think you would stay there while you're seated, because the next session is a practical session, practical skills. You're going to do it with Dr. Rose. Let's appreciate her. In case you have not registered, if you know you have not registered at all, you can raise your hand and I can bring the form for you to register. I don't know if the MC gets a certificate because I've not registered, but yes, you ready?
Okay, I talked about the catalog for Erasmus Mundus. That is open, that is already open Yeah. Where's that part? So the link I had already given, and I think Edward will also have the link, so that he'll also be share with you the link, so that you can once you have put your house in order, then you can start by looking at the catalog. So this is Erasmus Mundus catalog, and for example, so as you can see, there are several in the catalog. There is a lot, so you can when you come to the keyword, you key in your area of specialization, and in this case I am told we can use the public health. So yeah, so once you click on the public health, for example, if you go to the keyword, once you've typed in that, then you now the keyword you use it when you're not sure. You see, like this one we have opened the page and the course has come, so we are assuming that's the course we wanted, right? But if that's not the course you want, you can still key in public, and then you can key in the courses on public health, okay, or health, or education, or journalism. So those will be your keywords. So that is just to help you search fast. So I was proposing that you go to that one because it's already available and because of time. So that you just take it through there. So it says you're open. That's very important information. There are some for which the polls are not yet open. So it's important to know whether the poll is open or not. And then now we go to so this one, I've clicked the open. Applications are open for public health. All you need is to register. Once you have registered, they will give you a number. Then you continue with all the required things that they may want. In my part, I think Dr. Rose is going to share a lot, but for now, I think I will leave it at the catalog where you will key in your area of specialization, whatever you want to go and do there. Then yeah, I'm getting back. So you can go here. You see the instructions are very clear. But this is a process. Anyone who can read and write, you can do this. Okay? So please don't approach it with fear. It's very important that you're just confident. Just follow the instructions. What it needs is patience. Because some of us, we look at writing on a page and we skip some. That is where we mess up, okay? So in the practical session, when you'll go here, you'll be able to register and get your user and password. And that will always get you into your account. Then just follow the prompts as they're given. But there's a lot that you have to do prior to coming to this stage. And that is maybe one of the things that we want to look at very, very briefly. Please, let's clap for Dr. Andolo. I think
You know, in Uganda, you have more food than we have in Kenya. But we seem to have more clapping energy than you here in Uganda. So please, let's clap for her well. Do you know we even had a president who gave us a clap? You remember the Nyayo claps? Anyone who has come to Kenya? We even had a presidential clap. That's how seriously we take claps. Let's appreciate her once more. Listen, here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So good afternoon. Please, let's just stand up. Wherever you are, just stand up where you are. Stand up, just stand up, get some room. Don't poke your neighbor's eye. Okay. Now, what did we eat for fruits at lunch? What did we eat? Watermelon. What else? Pineapples. Okay, now we are going to eat a different set of fruits. Huh? You allow me? Okay. So we are going to eat avocados, then we are going to eat papaya. Okay. Then oranges and lemons. Lemons are your toes. When was the last time you touched your toes? Okay. So oranges and lemons, and then we call it a fruit salad. Can we go? Avocado, avocado, papaya, papaya, oranges and lemons, oranges and lemons, fruit salad. Shake those things. Clap for yourselves. Okay. That's just to wake you up. I realized when the last presenter was on, there are so many who are agreeing with her without hearing what she's saying. So they kept nodding and saying yes without hearing. Okay. I'll be very brief with this one because these are just the practical things that possibly we need to do. I don't know what's happening. There's some loose connection somewhere. We've been taken through the application process, but allow me not to use the mouse. Allow me to use this. I think my slides should be large enough. Yeah, so that I move a bit fast. But there are so many things that we need to consider as we prepare for these applications, okay? So I want to quickly go through them, what to do before applying for a mobility grant. One, you have to understand these terms. We have grants, we have scholarships, we have loans. Sometimes we use them interchangeably, okay? But it is good to know which is which. When we talk about grants, mostly they're like these mobility grants that we're talking about, okay? They are monies given to you to educate you which you don't pay back. Okay? It's not a loan, so you're not going to pay it back. A loan is something that you're going to pay back. A scholarship, in the strictest sense of the word, is given on academic merit. So that you've done a program, you've emerged the top student, so you're given a scholarship. to further your studies. But you'll find in some cases, mostly grants and scholarships are used interchangeably, okay? So it's very important that you know what you are applying for. Then you need to know the various types of mobility grants that exist and which you qualify for. There are those you've been told your university has to have an MOU with the European Union universities, okay? The Erasmus Plus. But there are those like the Erasmus Mundus, you can apply as an individual, okay? That is one thing you need to know. So which one do you qualify for? Then secondly, in terms of requirements, what are the academic and professional requirements for the scholarship that you want to apply for? That's very important. Many times we don't think about these things deeply, then we apply and we fail and then we get frustrated, okay? Then also the requirements of the grants, that is personal and professional. I like the questions that were coming from the floor, and that is about academic qualifications, whether you need to have a first class, second class, or there's no third class, there's pass, or a pass, okay? And I think that has been answered. Cindy? Okay, so you need to know what is required. Then you also need to know the terms and conditions of the mobility grant. Earlier on in the morning, I asked us, how long is our program? Whichever program you have enrolled for. You need to know what are the terms and conditions, okay, for these programs. There are those that require, actually most of them require you to finish within the time, okay? Because if you keep deferring, there'll be a problem. They're not like our university. Some of them just forget you're a student. And then when you reappear, when you resurface, all they want is money, okay? But with this, most of this, actually the mobility grants, they work within European work cultures. A time frame should be adhered to. If your program is 2 years, you had better take 2 years, okay? Unless there is something like health issues or a death in the family, but then that one you have to take it up officially and defer officially. I don't know whether you also have problems with the postgraduate students in some of our your universities here like we have at home, where they just disappear from the grid. No official communication, no nothing. You know, they just disappear. Then they come back 3 years later and they start saying, oh, I had fee issues. They don't know that there's something called official deferment, because that counts into your time. Are we together? The moment you defer, they stop counting your time. So it is held until the moment you reapply again for readmission. Do you understand that? So if you simply disappear for 1 year, 2 years, you'll be seen to have taken 5 years in the program, okay? But if you defer, they stop counting your time. So please make sure that you know the terms and conditions, okay? Even where you should take what part of the semester. Because you see, most of these are joint master's programs, which you do in more than one country, okay? So you need to know those requirements. Please read them before you start the application process. Then you also need to consider various things. And top of the list is normally family obligations, okay? This must be a serious consideration. Okay, now I've put in a cheeky picture there. What is happening in that picture? Can I have 1 or 2 interpretations? What is happening? What do you think is happening in that picture? Can you give a story? Those who teach communication and English, sometimes we just give you a picture and we tell you to write a whole essay, isn't it? Yes. Madam, what do you think is happening?
What I think is this. The husband is being told by the wife that I have to go for further studies. And the man is saying, oh my God, I'm dead. Whom are you leaving me with? I'll be so lonely.
Okay.
I'll not be able to do anything. Please
so
don't go.
The man is already mourning. Okay. Any other? Okay. MC?
The woman is saying, I'm pregnant.
And the man?
Saying, oh my God, again.
Again? Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's keep it to studies. Yeah, even pregnancy can be related to studies. Maybe something. Okay, I don't want to preempt. Any other interpretation? Okay. And I wish I would get a gentleman's interpretation. It's only ladies.
Yes, to add on what she has said, it's like the lady is emphasizing that, yes, I have to go. What am I supposed to do?
Okay.
I've got the offer, then
Good.
what?
She has got the scholarship, huh? She has applied for Erasmus, she's successful.
Okay, thank you. At first, that's what I also heard. But it could also be the other way around. This man could be finding difficulties to decide between leaving the family behind and going for studies. And probably a woman is insecure, wondering how she's going to survive and what her fate will be.
I always get that response from the men, so I don't know what the men here say. I'm not family obligations. Okay. Now, yeah, Yusuf.
He wants to travel now. The lady is not understanding. She's trying to convince him.
Yeah.
What for? Why are you going to study for that long? What do you can't understand?
How can you leave me for 2 whole years?
And the man is not understanding. Is like, oh my.
Okay, because such things occur, and it doesn't matter whether it's already a marriage, okay, or it's a serious courtship. And that is why I want the young people to be very careful. You may be in a relationship right now, okay? It is not yet marriage, but both of you seem to be committed to this relationship. You must know where the scholarship issues are coming in, okay? Suppose I get it. And actually not even suppose I get it. You're supposed to be applying with the mind of getting it and going, okay? So you must be very serious and discuss this with your intended. Sawa. So at whatever point the relationship is, remember it is a factor when you're making your applications. The other one, especially for ladies, you see the woman with some small children, isn't it? Yeah, she's just wondering how she's going to leave those children. And ladies, this is something that really affects us, especially with pursuit of further education, and sometimes even with offers to work outside our stations. For a man, if you have a wife with younger children, you will comfortably leave. Am I wrong? But for a woman, it's actually normally triple sacrifice, especially the younger the children are. And remember, that is the time you're also at your academic optimum. Yeah, so it really tugs the heart. So it's a question of sometimes planning your biology, but when the biology went the other way around, now you really have to make some serious sacrifices and choices. The other consideration you need to make are career opportunities back home. And I'm trying to be a bit fast so that we don't keep you here till evening. But you see, these are mostly local industries. You have basketry, you have such things. These are just representations of some of the career opportunities back home. But this one for me is very serious. I don't know whether you have this in Uganda, but in Kenya we have this local mining, you know, on a very small scale, and even children do it. Even, you know, adults go out of school to go dig some earth for some aspects of gold, for some specks of gold, gold nuggets, okay? And they use very rudimentary, you know, tools. So if you're in the mining industry, that's your career passion. When you go and learn things out there, can you come and help these people? Surely, because this is a very pathetic photo, isn't it? But it's something that is happening real life. You come to where I come from, actually my community, the southern part of Nyanza, this is going on a lot. And a lot of children are now being pulled out of school and actually being enslaved by this, because this is what the families depend on, okay? So think about, as you're going for this master's program, you see, the key vision is to come back home and improve things back home, not to stay in Europe, okay? So as you come back home, what solutions are you bringing? Because you're interacting with wazungus up there, isn't it? You'll see the kind of technologies they've instituted. You'll see the kind of innovative thinking they have come up with. Can you come and reproduce those back home? Whether the infrastructure back home will allow you to or not, that's a totally different story. But as you apply, think about that. And then your personal vision and goals. You're going to chew books. And there's a lot of reading. Okay? Where the alumni? The alumni, can you attest that when you were there, you did more reading than you did at home? Why? And yet we have the same volume of books. Why? Any alumni wants to tell me why? Yes?
I personally think I read more outside because I was not at home.
Because
I
there are
had
no
more time.
distractions.
Yes.
So you're
yes.
able to focus on your personal goals.
Yes.
Why you went for the program. Let's see another one.
Okay, for me, I think I read a lot because of their mode of teaching. They evaluate. You have very many tutors.
Yes.
One module like this, you're being taught by 4 people, and everyone assesses you. And there is always that practical bit. Whether you like it or not, you'll find yourself writing a paper.
True.
It actually got out some
There
fears.
is consistent and constant evaluation. You know, here sometimes we give you 2 miserable cards in a semester. And even those ones, you complain about them. I know I teach literature. Mwalimu, you teach communication skills. You also have a lot of reading to do, isn't it? But then I'm teaching one course. I give my students 7 set books or 7 texts to deal with. They're telling me, Mwalimu, this is too much. You know, that we have other books in other courses. But you go out there, you'll realize they have no room to complain. And they read all these texts. It's about the culture. Okay? So focus on that when you go for these things. And then your personal goal is just aiming to hit a bull's eye. For me, that's very important. As you apply for this scholarship, what is your goal? Okay? You need to have it very, very well defined. And this one has been talked about, so I will not dwell on it very much. Cultural adaptations. One of them is what they're talking about, the work ethics. You must keep to the deadlines. You've been given an assignment, you're given 1 week to do it, you must submit it within that 1 week. Okay? Because they will cite you for tardiness if you don't. And Europeans, white people, they hate tardiness. Okay? Deadlines are deadlines. You don't miss them. So please make sure you can see there is, the African is chilling somewhere, isn't it? And yet the others are running to do what? To study. So make sure you adapt to the culture of hard work. You adapt to the culture of time management, because those will be very, very crucial. And then the others are just the mannerisms. I think these ones were talked about by Mwalimu earlier in the morning. Okay? Ways of greetings. You know, there are people who shake hands, there are people who don't. There are people who hug, there are people who don't. You go to European countries, you know the way here when you see a child, you just want to grab them. There, if you're a man and you grab a small girl, you'll spend the night in a police cell. Trust me. Okay? So you need to be very careful about such things. You know, you're so excited, you've seen kids. So they'll question your motives because their mindset is wired differently. So please try and understand these things. Now, the other things you will need are the documentations. And there are 2 key documentations that, that are required, and which I'm just going to mention, okay? To mention and then encourage you to really take note of how you do them, okay? Because of time, we cannot do them practically. I think you appreciate that, okay? I just want to emphasize the importance of these documents. The first one is your CV. Mwalimu teaches communication, right? This is part of communication skills, how to write a CV, because it's part of communication. It's telling who you are, okay? And he gave us a definition so that I'm just like him. I'll also give us a definition. But I hate academics. But I'm a teacher. Yeah, if you give me something to teach through performance, I'll be so happy. Okay? But just to keep it academic, I've given us a dictionary what? Definition. This is not mine. This is a dictionary definition. So the CV is drawn from 2 words, curriculum vitae. Again, curriculum draws from curere, okay? And then vitalis, curere means to run. And then the other one means belonging to life. So the two words are put together to mean a short account of one's career and qualifications, prepared typically by who? By, just say by myself. So you're the applicants. You're all applicants, okay? And it's actually showing, if you can look at this, if you can see this picture, a CV shows your milestones, okay? Now, for the Erasmus Mundus programs, they are master's programs, okay? So, in terms of academics, they don't want to see from your primary school. Normally, they talk about post-secondary qualification. So, your bachelor's degree is very important, okay? And any other postgraduate qualification that you may have. So, as you can see, a CV is something that shows the milestones that you have run through life to determine whether you are qualified for that slot or not. So with that, you need to understand the role of a CV in an application. The CV, first of all, represents you. Remember, you're not going there to tell them, I am this and that. Sindio? So it's the CV that goes before you and it represents you. The CV determines your suitability. I'm just giving us this so that you understand the importance of the CV. The CV determines your suitability for that position. Are you the best candidate they are looking for? And that leads to you being selected and then you be given the opportunity, okay? Now, suitability, as Dr. Agnes has told us, is not only academics, but it is also what else you have done. Especially when you're going for the Erasmus Mundus programs, where you're applying as an individual. What these people want to see is what else, apart from academics, okay? And they're very big on volunteership. I don't know, alumni, do you attest to that? They're very big on volunteership. What else have you volunteered for, okay? This add to your suitability as somebody who can come back home and make good use of that master's program, okay? Not somebody who will just sit on it and maybe put it on the shelf. So remember the roles of the CV. And today we live in a digital age. As you can see, this is sourced from somewhere. So you go to the internet and you can get so much of this information about the do's and the don'ts of a good CV, okay? So I may not go too much into them, but the do's, start your CV with general contact information, you know that, isn't it? Then you include your education and experience. I think we all know this. Now from post-secondary, not from primary. You know, some start, because they have been told, the longer your CV is, the better. So they start even with the nursery school. Okay, PP1. Nowadays we have PP1. Do you have that in Uganda? I know we have PP1, PP2, and then is it preschool or something like that? Huh? Please don't start from there. Give what is relevant to the course that you are going for. And then things like language skills are very important, okay? If you look at my CV, I normally give it in terms of skills, a scale of 1 to 5, okay? So, and that goes for reading, writing, and speaking. So in English, my scale is 1 for excellent. Do you agree? I hope so. You have no choice. It's me. Okay, in speaking, I can also give myself a 1 in English, okay? Because that's the language that I teach in. In writing, I can also give myself a 1, okay? Then, let's say French. I'm still trying to learn French. So in speaking, I may be at around 4 because I have the basics. I can say bonjour, okay? I can say ça va, okay? I can say, hey, well, you went with all my French. Okay, I knew more, but they disappeared. You understand now what I mean? So my speaking might be at 4 and my writing at 1. I mean at 5. Languages, and then you list them. You need to give us your proficiency. That represents you better, okay? Then you have computer. Mwalimu talked about this in the morning. Very important nowadays, okay?
And then check your CV. He talked about this. Are you the one who talked about this? For spelling? Yes, very, very important. And typological errors. Then use formatting such as bullets or italics or bold font only sparingly. Don't overcrowd. In actual fact, make your CV eye-friendly, okay? And I think there's somewhere I said you can use, if you go to the website, you can use the Europass free CV templates. Okay, please write that down. It's Europass free CV templates, and the best is from the europa.edu. There you'll get the free ones. You know, there are those who give you the Europass CVs, but at a cost. Once you have done everything, now they tell you pay this much to download. No, there are free services. Okay? So when you go here and do the Europass CV template, it gives you the template that the European Union actually is in agreement with. And especially for individual scholarship or grant applications. I was not born with this mic in my hand. Okay? I was not born a teacher. And those of us who have been teaching for several years, when you look back at the way you started teaching, it's very, very different from what you're doing now. Okay? And it's because we had our seniors to help us, to hold our hands. I don't know whether some of my colleagues even had colleagues, you know, coming to attend your classes. And they would audit your classes and tell you, no, in this you need to do that. Nowadays, do we still do it? But some people are too proud now. You can't even attend their class. They'll ask you like, who are you? But we benefited from such. Okay? When a senior colleague just comes and sits into your class and tells you at the end of it, of course not in front of the students, that you need to check on this and that and that. Okay? So it's the same with the CV. If you're going to apply for this mobility grant, the first CV you build, please don't do it alone. And that's why you'll have the contacts of these alumni. That is why you'll have Dr. Agnes Andolo's contact. That's why you'll be in that WhatsApp forum, okay? There'll be somebody to hold your hand. So this networking is very important. And then don't worry too much about length. I know our late Minister for Education, Professor Magoha, how long was his CV? Kenyans, do you remember? 32 pages. Okay, 32 pages. Please don't compete with him. The length is not important. You know, that goes, I don't know whether you're also asked the same questions about essay questions. Mwalimu, how long should my essay be? For me, the most important thing is to answer the what? The questions and to the point. Okay? So it's with the CV. CV should be factual, what you have done. Okay? So it's not about the length, it's about the information that is most important. And then don't include, for some CVs, they don't want your age. Just give us maybe your date of birth. Ethnic identity, it's irrelevant. Political affiliation, okay. Sexual orientation, I don't know. We are getting to a very queer place on the earth today. There are some forms today where you fill and they require you to do that. Have you seen that? But not on, don't do this on your CV, okay? Today in some forms, actually I've seen, even when I'm traveling, you know, they require you to fill in your sexual orientation. I'm not saying your gender, okay? And they say this is for planning purposes, especially when they are planning accommodation for you, okay? So leave those out. Your height, weight, those ones don't. And then don't pad your CV with by listing excessively detailed information about research or teaching, okay? Just provide the titles of what you've done and so on. And then don't try to be a smart aleck by including information that is humorous, okay? Now, this information is not new, it's not original, but it's all over the net, okay? Today we live in a digital age, as I've said, and there's so much practical information that we can get from there. But there is this other thing. I'm now working with a student who is trying to write a motivation letter. And this is where now they say the rubber meets the road. So a motivation letter, let me just bring everything so that we move fast. What is a motivation letter? Remember, motivation letter is separate from your CV. It accompanies your CV, okay?
So it's a personal document that details your professional what? Skills and what? And can we all speak? Oh, so we are awake. Reasons for applying, okay? For a course of study, a scholarship, or a volunteer job. Okay. Now, I look at the picture. Okay. What we have here, sorry, I didn't carry my pointer, but what we have here is somebody trying to decide whether this person is qualified, isn't it? Are we together? So this person has to give a very strong motivation for what she wants to do for that person to select them. Okay? So the thing is, she's somebody who believes she can take an idea. Okay? She can take an idea. Or actually, it begins from here. You're presented with an idea. You can think about it. You water the idea and bring it to fruition. Are we together? Can you convince the person who is going to read your letter of your motivation for applying for that course? Why are you going to do that master's? Okay? One, based on your previous experience, and that is your undergraduate training. Are we together? Two, based on your vision. What do you want to do? What career do you want to get into? Are we together? And then three, based on your persuasion that that grant or that degree is going to help you fulfill that vision. Do you see what you're doing with your motivation letter? In other words, you're giving us a strong motivation for going into a program. Many times we don't think about our motivations for doing things. The motivation letter answers why. Why do I want to do this? Okay? And it is like presenting your best foot forward. Let me just bring that. Good. So it is to present your personal story and detail your interests, your personality, and motives for applying to the program. It is to persuade the selection panel. Normally, there are consortium, like Edwin told you, okay, because it's not offered, especially the Erasmus Mundus, it's not offered by one university, okay? So it's a consortium that sits together. So you need to persuade them of your suitability for the position. Remember, many will apply, but only few will be chosen. For you to make the cut of the only few, you must present a very, very strong argument. It showcases your understanding of the requirements for the position beyond what? Beyond academics. Everybody will have the certificate. See, everybody who applies has a degree. Don't they? Don't they have a degree? But what will give you that edge about them? It is your motivation for that program. And then it provides a convincing vision for your end goal. That is very important. Please note this. A convincing vision for your end goal with regard to the program. What will that master's program help you to do? Okay? And especially back home. Remember, it's not just another academic certification you're coming back with to put on the wall. Okay? And that is the motivation that normally helps. We don't have much time, but where I have time, I normally show my own samples. I've written, I think up to now, 3 motivation letters, okay? And for all these 3 where I have had to write the motivation letters, I have got these applications. One for a research fellow at University of Freetown. The other one was for a COMESA consultancy, which I also got. The recent one was for IUCF, no, 4. IUCF, which I also got. I'll be at Bishop Stewart University in Mbarara from January to May next year. Okay? I also had to write a motivation letter. Okay? Then there was an NMT training for CODs. They needed only 20 people, 95 people applied. I was among the 20 that got it. And they said one of the key things they're looking at is the motivation letter. So a motivation letter that gives a very strong end goal with what you want to do with that degree will always earn you that selection. It's simply saying that I'm the what? I'm the, yeah. If I were to put it in pictures, it's simply saying that I am the best. What is your motivation? What is the push for you to get that scholarship. Now, this is for PhD candidates. Do you have people considering to apply for PhD here? Because I don't want to really go much into it. Okay? Because this is where now you'll need to write research proposals. It describes an intended study. What are your intentions? It reveals the importance of conducting research or the project, that is the persuasion. And it is aimed at obtaining funding for both the research and implementation of the project, and that is the process of selection. Now, cheekily again, forgive me, I'm from the thespian background, but you know, when we talk of research grants, really, you're saying it's good to persuade the person that this is my project. And for you to persuade the person about your project, the most important thing is it must be clear to yourself. How many of us here have defended master's thesis? Master's thesis? Oral examinations, isn't it? And when you're doing those oral examinations, what the panel wants to see, the fellow professors are here, is whether you're very clear about your research. Okay? So they may twist you with questions left, right, and center, but are you clear in your mind about what you're researching about? Okay? Or was it done for you? Is it about research? Okay? If it is yours from the beginning, you can say what your research is about in one sentence. This is some trick that I always give my students who are going for oral examinations. Can I state my research problem in one sentence? One sentence. Okay? So those of you who are on the program, just think about that. Can you summarize your research intentions in one sentence? If you can do that, then you're safe and dry. Okay? So you want to find out, okay, now that I equate it to a proposal. You know, when you're proposing, you also have to convince somebody that you're the best. Okay? Cindy, how many ladies are out there? How many gentlemen are out there? A few. The gentlemen are few. You know, that's the myth. The ladies are saying there are many. Yes, they're saying there are many. The marrying kind, the kind that marry, or the hit and runs? I don't know. But in whichever proposal, actually, you want to convince somebody I'm the best, and this is for a lifetime engagement. The other one is for funding. Are we together? Sawa sawa. So it is very important that you have these three things in mind, that you're clear about the intentions of your research, you're clear about persuading the funding body about the viability of that research. Are we together? The credibility of that research, the strategies you have put in place for that research. Why should they put their money in your research? Okay? And then the selection, so that you make it to the selection. Okay? Now, my focus today was to be on the CV and the motivation letter. But because of time, we can't go into the practical steps. So I'm going to urge us to make use of the contacts. Okay? Like I've said the first time, don't do it by yourself. Get somebody to help you. Then use the Europass, format to give you a very, very good format for doing this. Okay, these are the requirements for a research proposal. Okay. This is what you need to research before you research, isn't it? Your research plan, it needs to be clearly stated. Your goals and objectives for the research in your research plan. I've just written one. I'm also trying to apply for some funded research, which is a 2-year project, a program out of Kenya. And I had to do a research plan first of all and send it to your host in the other university. Okay? If your host agrees with your research plan, then she or he accepts to host you. And so now you do the application together. Okay? Then the formal requirements for the grants applied for, you need to understand the status upon application. What do you need to be? There are some research proposal fundings that require you to be part of an institution. Okay?
either part of a research institution or a university. You must be a member. And then the justification for staying abroad, much of this funding will be partial, okay? They fund your stay abroad. So things like that. Of course, proposal writing skills, again, we go back to our communication experts. And then acceptance by host institution. And lastly, commitment by a host supervisor. Okay, I've gone to that too fast, but I think I've done my work. Have I? Please, CV and motivation letter. The alumni, I think, bear me witness. Those two documents. And now, I always leave my students with this. Those who are planning to apply for their masters. Between now and the time you're applying, although the 2020 do things to beef up that CV, okay? Start thinking about being a member of something. Start thinking about being a founder of something, even at the college level, okay? Something that shows your humanism. Something that shows that you're able to give back to the society. Like I said, I think Ugandans, you're just like we Kenyans, much Africans. Today we are so money driven. We want to, if we are asked to do anything, we'll ask what is in it for me. Even volunteering. We heard that there are volunteer health workers in Kenya. But these people are being given a very good lump sum at the end of every month. Yet they are what? Volunteers. Doesn't that go, against the principle? I know in most volunteership, the most they can do maybe is to just either provide lunch, isn't it? Yeah, but because you're volunteering, you volunteer your time and your resources. That is what real volunteering is all about, okay? It shows your humanism. So please do that. And then lastly, please get the contacts of the alumni and get the contacts of the facilitators who have offered themselves to help us here. There's a WhatsApp group that, who talked about it? Was it you, Edwin? There's a WhatsApp group that you need to join. Are we together? Please make use of those resources. But remember, don't call anyone after 9 p.m., okay? And when you're added to those WhatsApp forums, please, do you filter the messages posted? Yeah, so none of you here is going to misbehave. Cindy, provocative messages. It will only be messages that pertain to you wanting to know more about how you can better your application. And with that, I wish you the very, very best. And I pray that those of us who are going to make the first attempt in applying for these scholarships will not come back frustrated because you have been in this training. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Doctor.
There was a part that was to be done by Dr. Agnes, but she has taken us to the catalog. She was not able to go beyond that. But if you go to the catalog and search for the programs that you want, you'll be able to see those which are open and those which are not yet open. And then you look at the requirements, but between now and then, please now start putting the documentation together. Thank you.
Let's put our hands together again for Dr. Rosette. No? We can do better. Okay, thank you very much. Doctor, something I've picked out is we should be proactive in some of these in our communities. So I'm trying to think of being a chairman of the MCs who will be speaking at Asaf events. So I need members. Yeah. Thank you, Doctor, again. Yeah. So we are into our last session, and this will be basically to have some of the alumni giving their experiences. We'll have our guest from Benin, Mr. That name is Yusuf. I apologize if I've mentioned your name badly. And then Mr. Edwin, just to share your experiences. Then immediately after, there's a tea break. Yeah, but after tea break, so you can go for sauna, you can go for gym. You know, we've spent a lot of time seated, you know. So as we eat this food, remember to go and exercise so we keep healthy and fit. So let me invite Mr. Yusuf to share his experience.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Okay, everyone is not in the room. Let me look at the names and say hello to each and everyone. Mr. Tawahil, how are you? Okay. Good afternoon. I forgot the greetings in Uganda. I was taught in the bus. I forgot. My name is Yusuf Dauda Labot from Benin Republic, West Africa. I'm happy to be here, and I just want to say a few things about my personal experiences. I got a scholarship from Benin to Kenya to do my master's degree in forced migration studies. And how did it happen? There was just a day, it was on a Sunday, I decided to visit a friend who lives somewhere at a certain distance. I visited him. I found him in the house, just doing nothing much. We started the conversation as usual. Then he was telling me, he just remembered that somebody is talking about something. They sent him something via email, so he needs to go and check. We start searching, and at the end, he opened the mail. He told me it's about a scholarship. Now, I needed a copy. How are you going to go about it? So it was on a Sunday morning. People are all mostly people are in church in the morning. So we decided to go and look for a cyber. It was hard to get it. At the end, we managed within the university called Abome Kalavi, and we got a friend who came and opened the cyber. She print a copy. So I also made a copy. We had all one copy, then we went home. After like a few days, when I went to the house, I just threw it somewhere. So some days I just came back to the house, I look at it, I went through. Then I realized whatever they are asking, it's not something much. Can't I manage? Then I called my friend. Let's do this. I think we should apply. He told me, Yusuf, it's okay. I called him almost 3 times to insist we need to apply. The only answer I was given from him is just, the final answer he gave me is this. You know, if you want to apply, just go and apply. Me, I don't have time for this. I asked him the reason. He gave me the common reason we used to have in mind, all of us, when we find a scholarship opportunity somewhere. He's telling me, you know, those people, what we are going to do now is just something formalities. They have already known, they have selected their own children, cousins, and whatever. This is how people do things. So we don't waste our time. Finally, I decided to apply. The only challenge I had in the requirements, there is somewhere they ask for publications. You need to have a publication. They left a space somewhere. You share the link to refer to the publication. He mentioned it, by the way, saying he has never published anything. So he's not qualified. Which means he disqualified himself. And personally, I think I cannot disqualify myself. I just want to give it a try. Those who are supposed to select people, they are the ones to disqualify me later, but not now. I decided to apply. I have another challenge. Somebody to refer me, the recommendation letter. My friend's brother, he's in the department, our department of sociology. He's at some positions there. I talked to my friend. He told me it's just simple. Let's talk to our brother. He's the one who called the brother. He got an appointment. Then he called me back. I went to his place. I even didn't know where the prof was living. So from there, I went to his place. He's the one who took me on a motorbike. We went now to see the prof. It was on a weekend. He told us the laptop is there. Just sit. Try to write something. I will just come and go through and see what to correct. We did it. He came, he gave us some guidance. Delete this, add this, remove this and that. After that, we printed the document, he signed, we scanned. He's the one to send the recommendation letter via email. So I left him the right email. Within 2 days, I called him to confirm. He told me he has already sent the recommendation letter. So that's how I applied. I have been just following the process, being patient. Within a year, it took like 1 year. Then I got the response. I have been selected to come to Kenya and do my master's degree. By the way, they didn't know that from Kenya I could have also come to Uganda and meet people here, what I'm doing right now. So finally, what I learned from there is we have to be patient, and most importantly, let's not disqualify ourselves for no reason. I did not provide that link for publications. I did not submit any publication, but I have been selected. And we were 2 from home, only 2 who have been selected, and we actually, the other also is within Nairobi collecting some data. Then the other things also is some of us, we are willing to apply to get a scholarship and all that. But if I may ask some who are ready now to apply, we have our smartphones, we always buy data. What we do, and mostly ladies, I'm sorry to say it, taking pictures, selfies, sharing status, commenting status, TikTok, looking at who is how do they call it? Some artists. The other guy bought a new car. The car is for 2023. He bought it at how many millions? They know all about that. Who is dating who? They know. And they are using the data to look for all that and to follow step by step. He bought a new costume. He bought new shoes. He bought a new car. They have all the information. No, this lady has just, she broke up. This is the 3rd relationship. This is the 3rd marriage. So, at the same time, you cannot use your phone with your data to search something that can impact your life, something that can change your life. In terms of learning, we are learning a lot, not only about academics, the environment, the culture. Actually, I know how to eat ugali and mayai, ugali and eggs in Kenya. I learned it there. We don't have it. I learn a lot about chapati. We don't have chapati. And I'm ready when I go back to teach some people around, including my yes. Then I think I will just, I can be able to enjoy the chapati. I learn how to cook some Kenyan food. Hopefully, maybe with some friends I'm meeting here, I can also learn more about Ugandan culture. Thank you so much. What I want to add is I'm encouraging everyone to try, to give it a try. You might apply and fail. You are not failing. It's not a failure on itself. You apply, you did not succeed this time, but there is always, just tell yourself next time is your time. Then you apply. You keep applying, giving it a try, and again and again. And one day it will be successful. Myself, I will apply for the other opportunities because we never finish studying. I have a PhD I'm looking for a PhD opportunity also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf, for sharing your experience. And I know 1 or 2 people, 4, have been inspired. Yeah, we are talking about alumni, and you can go to Mr. Bayusuf. Sorry, I called him. Sorry for mentioning you, Mr. Bayusuf, because I have a colleague at office who we call Bayusuf. So my mind is on Bayusuf. Apologies, Mr. Yusuf. So the next one, Mr. Edwin. He will again share his experiences, and then we'll have our breakfast, our evening tea.
Yes, very good evening to everyone. I know it has been a long day, and since again I'm standing in between our evening tea, I will try not to be the reason for smiles reducing. I'll try to be as brief as possible. And since much has been said, I would like mainly to draw from my experience a few issues to motivate most of us to try this journey. From masters or from undergraduate to PhD, the experiences are totally very different. So for me, my journey as an Erasmus Mundus student starts at PhD. But before that, I also had an external exposure. I did my master's degree in China. I did my bachelor's in Uganda here. So for me, the experience is a bit different. I tried first our local scholarships here to do my master's, and that was through the Ministry of Education. There are quite many challenges that Yusuf has actually mentioned. I remember for the first application, it was the Embassy of India, and they were giving the area where I was qualified. I very well knew that in the country were probably maybe only 5 people who could have applied for that by then. And I happened to make it to the shortlist. I went for interviews and I was number 2 on the list. And actually they had indicated that they wanted 2 people, but they didn't take me. So that gave me a very huge reflection about nature of local opportunities. And my focus looked elsewhere. Now another opportunity came that was Commonwealth. I also tried that one up to a certain point, and still I didn't make it. Now until another opportunity that came through the Chinese embassy, and I did the application. And this was also still through the Ministry of Education. So this is also a resistance. Much as there are all these perceptions, I think that time they also wanted 2 people. I was among those, the top 2 people that made it to the shortlist after the interviews. And fortunately, this time they gave me the scholarship. They thought I might bewitch them this time. Because, yes, you can't want 2 people, and among the 2 people, among the top 2 people, and then you do not give me this. So I do not know how it came about, but this time I got the scholarship. I went for 2.5 years. I was in Shanghai. Now, after my master's, before I graduated, now this is also the beauty about Erasmus. You do not need to have graduated, but you need to be at least in your final year of study. So that is another thing, because I have had students I've motivated, I've mentored them in their final year before graduation just recently, and they are shortlisted for the scholarship. Now, out, by the time they are being considered now for the scholarship, they do not have the certificates. So it is your obligation, by the time the results are out, you must have presented those documents. So many students have made it because they have some probably good grades, not only good grades, they have written good motivation letters, good recommendations and so on. But at the end, our universities also let them down. They haven't graduated and therefore they can't present the documents. So I did my mobility in Italy, in France, and then I went back to China. So it was 3 countries. Now with Erasmus, again, you are not tied to only Europe. There is a possibility you can go to the US, you can go to Asia, you can even go to to Africa. There are also countries that are outside Europe that are part of the consortia that make up or that administer those masters. It is unfortunate that the joint PhD programs have been shifted to that scheme we talked about, Marie Curie, it is quite more competitive compared to how the joint PhD program was. That one I can honestly confess about that. We have tried with quite a number of colleagues. Some have made it, and I've seen a number fail to go through. It is competitive. You need to work with professors, because what happens is these professors have their topics or their research themes, and you just need to join them. You just need to show that you are capable of doing that research, and I think this is the worldwide trend now. You do not apply, you do not simply apply for a PhD program and then you are admitted. Most likely you are going to join a research group that is already established, and you move through what they are doing. So it is a bit competitive. You have to be patient. It can take you 3 years, 2 years to get a PhD position. You start slowly building with the host university, perhaps 1 year or two. I have a colleague who just went recently. We have a colleague who has been chasing his PhD for the last about 3 years. He has just gone to the UK. One of our members from Asaf, he's called Mr. Mwesigwa Ronald. Jackie was with him at Moy University. So I want to say it is a matter of patience, hard work, go through this. Yusuf just said he took about 1 year to chase for a master's admission, that program. I was a bit lucky for my PhD. I applied around September, and in March, I had an acceptance. But it was not a fast acceptance. The list came out, and I was on a reserve list. Now, for someone to move from a reserve list to being awarded, it means a lot. Now, probably about 3 weeks after the message that I was on the reserve list, about 3 weeks after, they wrote to me that someone had given up their position. So I think we were six, and then I was the 7th. Yes, there were 6, and I was the 7th. So it means one person dropped out, and I was the next in the queue, and I took that. But before that, I still had other offers that were not as good as the Erasmus scholarship. It was very, very lucrative, very, very good, that you couldn't resist it. But also, by the time I went, I was already working with my university. I joined Busitema University in 2009 as a teaching assistant. So 2010, I went for my master's, 2014 for my PhD program. Now, I want to share something about the beauty with networking that comes from these programs, these sessions we are doing. You can see our colleagues from Kenya. The other time we were in Nairobi with a lot of so many of our colleagues from Asaf, from different countries. The other time we were also in Ethiopia. We were in Ethiopia over the same. So I want to share one time when this networking experience really helped me. In 2018, when I went to do my PhD defense, on that travel day, I lost my passport. And my defense was, it was a Thursday, and my defense was the next week on Tuesday. So you can imagine the kind of confusion and the kind of probably, in terms of resources, what I really needed. I tried my best because I had an Italian visa in the passport, but it was now a big problem to get a new passport probably in 1 day, and then get the visa also the same day. So what saved me is this. Now, it was a conference like this, or a workshop like this. I had met the the Italian ambassador. at a workshop like this. This is why they are telling you, please pick numbers, pick contacts. You never know where this contact is going to actually be useful. So during that interaction, I managed to get contacts for all these ambassadors because it was the EU day. And it was a tradition because I was then the Erasmus country representative. So I was always invited to these events because of the experience and also getting to that leadership position. So what saved me was that small business card that I had picked from the EU ambassador. I went and got his email address. I picked his mobile number. Of course, I called and he couldn't pick because he didn't know who was calling. So what I did, I sent him an email. Now, these people are they are so disciplined that the email you send usually goes to them. It doesn't go to the secretaries. They manage their email accounts, they manage their telephone accounts, and so on. So the gentleman responded to me because I was so distressed that I was going to miss my defense because this was a lifetime opportunity. Now, in the kind of arrangement, they usually do an international panel. So people are called from China, from wherever, and it's very difficult to make another arrangement once they have done that arrangement for people to come and officiate over your defense. So the gentleman responded to me and gave me a very, very unique appointment. Now, they do not give visas on Monday. They only give, they have visa appointments, I think, about twice or thrice a week. But he made an exceptional appointment for me and instructed the visa officers at 10 a.m. work on this person. I was there alone for the visa interview, the visa appointment. I did not pay new visa fees. Of course, I had other issues to handle, to do with the flight, rescheduling, the passport issue was another one. For me, the visa was the most crucial because the passport, I paid for an express one, and I got it within, of course, after a very serious hassle. So, quite a lot that I've got through this networking. You can ask our colleagues here. We easily get appointments with the EU delegation or the EU embassy. We just walk in. You can not walk in, of course, per se, but you easily write, and they give you an appointment even the next day. So knowing people from this kind of exposure is a big experience you will surely get. For the colleagues from Moi University, under this Intra-Africa, I'm also happy to say that my little brother has already joined your Masters in Industrial Engineering under the Intra-Africa Mobility this year. Not because he didn't or he can't qualify, but because I know people who are within the network. I'm able to get information, able to mentor him, and get that. So let's utilize the times that we really we get close to people. Do not take them for granted, and you will surely come to appreciate the good in these endeavors. Thank you so much. I want to stop here.
Mr. Edwin, thank you very much. I think it would your experience would form a book. Eh? I don't know if you've thought about it. And then the Asaf members would buy it. Say maybe 10,000 each person. If we're 100 people, that's about. And yes, that's you'll be rich, and you give me a commission. Yeah, thank you very much. Any question? Whoever is asking is between your tea break.
Thank you. I'm not asking. I just want to say something that I didn't hear anyone mention. My name is Helen. I work with Uganda Matters University. I benefited at Masters on the exchange program. My exchange was from Uganda to Senegal for Masters. and I'm doing my PhD from Norway. Then they didn't talk about commitment. Sometimes these exchanges come when it's from maybe English country to a French country to a Portuguese country, and then people fear to apply. But when you reach here, these are languages because we all have mother tongues, but we have just learnt English. So if you accept to challenge yourself, because if the scholarship has like one English program and then all the other programs are in different languages, you find that many applicants will concentrate on the English program and then the others are left out. So if you take a step and challenge yourself, you find all the necessary support. I went to Senegal to do a master's in plant biology in a French language. I went without knowing any French word, but I graduated on record time. So next time you find anything, even if it's not in the English language, to those ones who want to apply, you accept, and when you go there, you commit. Once you're committed to your course, you can graduate on time. So you don't get challenges of fearing to apply because of the language that is used. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You said you know French? I'll not disturb you. So, oh, another one.
Okay, me, it's a question. I'm sorry I didn't ask when doctor was still presenting. When we had our experience, we were supposed to meet a minimum requirement of credit units. I think around 15. I'm not sure. Okay, they are not so tight. But I would love us to know what happens if you do not meet that minimum requirement. Because when you're funded, it's not a matter of just going to spend time in Europe. They also, at the end of the day, expect you to meet certain requirements. When you don't meet them and your time has elapsed, what happens?
I think the most important thing is also to understand what we mean by credit transfers. It means your credits are being transferred from one institution for recognition in another, so that you don't have to repeat the course again. So if there's a minimum that is required for you in a program, you must meet it. If you realize the time is not going to enable you to meet that, then you can always formally request for an extension so that you meet that requirement. Because it's part of your grade. It's part of the requirement of the course. Okay.
Thank you very much. There are three things I'm going to say. One, I want us to clap for ourselves. Two, clap for the MC. Then I want to invite Mr. Wambwa Davis to give his, I don't know what he's going to say, but I have to give him the mic. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, MC, for the day. And thank you everyone for this great day. We've been so active, I should say, and so attentive, participatory. We made the event lively. My work is simple, not much. I know I've been here since yesterday, and today, to many of us, it is ending today. To some, we're going to continue until tomorrow. Well, much has been said. Since yesterday dinner, for those who were here, I believe we enjoyed it. And today's sessions, from morning up this latest one, they have been tremendous to us. And I believe we haven't gone back as we came. I believe there's some change we have gained as a result of these talks that we have received. To each one of us, you have meant a lot. You've been special to this event. You've made Asaf proud. And I believe, even when you called up again to come for such event, you won't hesitate to come and be with us. To the facilitators, we indeed appreciate your time and the knowledge you have shared with us today. It has been so impactful from the knowledge point of view. And I believe every one of us here, we are going to put in practice what we have learned. To the participants, I once again say thank you so much for leaving whatever you were doing back home. And you set yourself such a day to come and be part of this training. Well, as I've said, contact those that are aspiring to be to go higher in their learning. You can contact those that have benefited from these projects, and they'll be helpful. Information can't stop today to be shared, but more and more shall be talked about. Allow me to stop here and wish every one of you the best. At the same time, allow me to ask you to clap for yourselves for being part of this workshop. With that, MC, I'm going back to you. You continue the function. I remain Davis Wambwa, much as people don't know how to pronounce my name. Yeah, Wambwa. Yes, that is my name. So I like it when someone says it well. I feel like, wow, that's nice. No. Okay. WAMBWA. Yes. Yeah. Best. That is best. Okay. Yeah. Currently I'm a PhD candidate at the Copperbelt University in Zambia. I have benefited from these projects twice, into Africa, from University of Nairobi to Copperbelt University, as well as from Copperbelt University to University of Valladolid in Spain for my international credit mobility program. And I'm a proud member of Asaf. I'm a co-speaker for one of the tasks within the Asaf. I'm a membership mobilizer, co-speaker for mobilization and engagement of the members. So me seeing every one of you being part of this makes me happy, and it motivates me to say that, well, what we are doing is really indeed great. I thank you so much, and we continue the conversation after here. Asanteni.
Thank you very much. I think we have met in Zambia, though we didn't know we are Ugandans. I'm serious. Yeah. So I want to also go ahead and thank the crew, the team on the crew, the technical team, the people on the camera, the people on the system, sound system. Thank you very much. I also want to thank, in her absence, Juliet is behind there trying to make things happen. We want to also thank her. Can give her appreciation. So with that, I'll not waste your time. I just want to ask you to pack your things very well. Make sure you have everything that you came with, so that I don't get a call like, MC, I forgot my phone, I forgot my charger. Please make sure you have everything that you have. But before you leave, please make sure you have the tea, which is there, and some bites. Thank you very much.